Thank you for joining us today to recognize the International Day for Tolerance. It is a worldwide dedicated day to remember those who have suffered under the hands of intolerance, and for us to remember to do better. With that being said, I would like to thank the DEI staff as for putting this together. There's identity collages that you can make. You can get a free T-shirt. And I thought, Deb, you're telling me to do something. And without further ado, I would like to introduce President Leary as he shares some words about this very important day.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Good afternoon, everyone. Day of Tolerance. It would seem as though you would not need in our world to designate a day that we would call the Day of Tolerance. But unfortunately, even though we have made tremendous progress, both here at Luzerne County Community College, in our home, in our communities in northeastern Pennsylvania, and certainly in the United States of America and throughout the world, we need to remember the importance of a Day of Tolerance and the significance of having a day that is dedicated to it. And before I offer any further remarks, I would like everyone to observe a moment of silence for all of those who have suffered, who have been victims, who have paid the price for intolerance in our world. Thank you. You know, when we think about tolerance, we think about instinctively about differences and how people perceive others. And there's a world that is reflected in our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Center that we dedicated a few weeks ago. There's a world where equality is certainly something that we acknowledge, but we don't always practice. Along the lines of gender, and religion, and sexual orientation, and so many other aspects of our life, we don't truly fully understand and appreciate that we are all born into this world with the same hope every day. And it's pretty simple. The bottom line is we all want to be happy, and we all want to be treated with dignity and respect. It's very simple. The lesson is simple. The actual application of it is sometimes more challenging. Yesterday, I go and read to the children, the 3 and 4 and 5-year-old children in our Head Start right next door. And when I walked in, I'm always reminded of the happiness and the joy. Because whenever anyone comes to visit, that person, not me, but that person is special. I'm coming to see them, and I'm going to read books to them. And in visiting each of the classrooms and speaking with them, I could see the true innocence and the love in their eyes, in what they said, and the way they felt about each other. And they sang a song, each of them sang a song that they sing every morning. It's called A Song of Kindness. If you ever saw these little children singing this song and looking at one another, realizing how important it is to be kind to the child next to them. And then I'm taken across the world when I'm leaving. And I know this sounds very almost like I'm making this up as I'm going, but I'm not. I'm walking away and I'm thinking across the world there are innocent babies and little boys and girls that are being killed over an issue that has been going on for thousands of years. Innocent children. who are being victims of something they would never create. They would never espouse to have that type of hatred and that type of resentment. And it doesn't matter how you feel about the political dynamics of the issue, okay? It has to do with the fact that we are continuing to victimize innocent people in this world who have done nothing wrong. And sometimes we stand by and we're okay with thinking the little bit that we do is enough. We can't change the world. I can't, in my capacity at this college, I can't change anything around the world. But what we can do is change a little bit of our world, the world that we live in, the way we treat each other, the dignity and respect that we demonstrate, whether it be in the classroom, in our offices, wherever we are, in our workplace, to treat people the way they should be treated. The golden rule is, again, really simple, and it's a matter of applying it to our lives. No one deserves to be treated with anything less than the respect and dignity as a human being. So what I would ask for Luzerne County Community College to do today on this Day of Tolerance, to recommit ourselves to the very basic human idea and value, and be guided by the principle that we treat people with respect, that we say hello to others, that we act in a kind and compassionate manner. Because that makes Luzerne County Community College a better place. It makes people feel more comfortable. And that is what the bottom line in life, folks. You can earn all the degrees that you're able to achieve. You can earn all of the wealth and the riches and drive the best cars and have a boat. The bottom line is, when you reflect on your life at some point, you will ask yourself a very basic question, I am certain. How did I treat others in my life? Not only my family, not only my friends, but everybody that I encountered. So with that, let's commit ourselves today to a better future, a kinder and gentler place in our lives, and reach out and stand up for those who are most vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you, President Leary, for that truly impassioned speech, and a reminder that while it might be overwhelming to see the world's problems, but to know that you can have a positive impact in your own sphere. And I think that's really important to remember. It keeps us going. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Grace-Ann Platukis to share some words. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. And I want to thank the DEI committee for putting this event together. And I can't say with any more passion how strongly I feel about the words that President Leary shared and about the concept of tolerance. And it's so important for us here in a college environment to recognize tolerance, because it leads to something that's so important to us as educators, as staff, and as students, and that's a sense of belonging. It's really fitting that we are gathered here today on the day that our student chapter of NAACP and our LCCC food service are celebrating Thanksgiving. And why do I think that's fitting? More on that in just a minute. But I want to just comment on tolerance. We all know what that is, right? What is tolerance? But I can tell you formally what it is. It's granting equal rights and freedoms, particularly to those whose beliefs, values, and actions we do not share or may disapprove of. So why is it important? Well, think about what's happening in our country, right? Think about what's happening around the world. You heard President Leary. There is such a climate of divisiveness and unjust in our world. And the fact that tolerance leads us to that sense of belonging is so important. Why? Why do we want that? Well, as students, I can tell you we want it. It's proven that A sense of belonging somewhere increases our student well-being. It leads us to higher academic engagement, and all of that translates to our success as students. We will attend class. We will come here if we feel we belong here, right? We will persist in our education and we will achieve our goals. That's not going to happen if we don't feel we belong. So how do we make sure that we feel we belong? Tolerance helps there, right? How do we become more tolerant? How do we foster that climate of tolerance? Back to the Thanksgiving celebration, right? Look around. All of us are different. Look at the posters here. They're all different. Everyone has their own identity, but we have things in common. You just have to look for them. We're all celebrating Thanksgiving, right? In our country that we live in, we might have different diets, right? Some of us are vegan and we'll be having lentil loaf on Thanksgiving, and more power to you, right? Not necessarily me, but okay, I get it. One thing that is me, I come from an Italian family, and I remember our Thanksgiving, sharing stories of our Thanksgiving at school. And I mentioned that we always, early in the day on Thanksgiving, we always had cappelletti soup. And that was amusing. I see my fellow Italian there smiling. And folks would say in school, "You're having cappelletti on Thanksgiving? We have turkey." It's different, but we're still celebrating Thanksgiving, right? I had turkey too. So just look for those commonalities. I promise you they exist. We just have to look. It's easy to find those threads. Sometimes it's food. That's an easy one, right? Food, conversation, celebration. We can look at that. But there's other ways to find those commonalities. And through tolerance, all you really need to do is engage. Be that person to look around, to smile. Some of you are smiling right now. I appreciate that. Thanks. Because when you're standing in front of people, reach out to somebody who maybe doesn't seem comfortable in the environment. So if you're in that cafeteria, you're having your Thanksgiving dinner, and maybe someone's by themselves and they don't exactly look like they want to be by themselves, or they're sitting outside, reach out to those people. Just take that first step. So as a last comment, I just want to say what tolerance is not, because sometimes there's a misunderstanding there. These are not exactly my thoughts. They came from John F. Kennedy, but tolerance is not a lack of commitment to our own beliefs. Tolerance is not asking us to compromise our own values. Tolerance does not imply neutrality. It's not a I don't care attitude. Whatever, anything goes. We all have our beliefs, and we're entitled to feel strongly and passionate about those beliefs. But instead, tolerance just asks us to respect others, to engage with others, offer room for dialogue on things that we may not share or may not agree with, but just recognize the equality of all of us for having those thoughts. So if you have a minute today to do your poster, to have some Thanksgiving dinner, to get a t-shirt, everybody loves those, you're practicing tolerance, and that's all we can ask you to do. That's our goal here today. So thank you, everyone.
So thank you again for coming out and supporting this very important value that we hold in our community, and enjoy your crafting and your snacking. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.